Nice to see you all, those that are not shy. So today we have a Riviera presentation with Paul Mellon, who's the account manager for Riviera Travel. And Paul's going to give you a bit of an insight into all the products they do, and there is quite a number of products that they actually do. So what I'll do, I'll pass you over, and at the end we can have some questions as normal. I'm in a different location today. I've been babysitting this morning. So Claire made it back in time for me to do a quick change, and yeah, it was good fun. So I'll pass you over to Paul.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thanks, Moira. Good morning, everybody. Like Moira, I'm also in a different location. So I'm actually at my sister's. So I've had to close the door because she's got two big German Shepherd dogs, and you don't really want them to climb all over me as well. So yeah, I'm going to go through our presentation. And as Moira said, all things as far as all the different products, all our touring, river cruising, Soho holidays as well. So sit back, relax, and like I said, we'll do some questions at the end. So hopefully by the magic of technology, I should be able to share my screen and you can see what we're doing. So like I said, big welcome. Obviously, I don't need to tell everybody how hard things are at the moment, and we're all desperate to get traveling again and back on holiday as well. But there are signs now of things starting to move forward, and even if it's people looking for 2022, like I said, we've got a really good program in place as well. So firstly, a little bit about Riviera. If you've never heard of us, we are actually a very big operator. We've been going for over 37 years now. We've based in the UK, so we're based in Burton-on-Trent in Staffordshire, and that might not be the biggest thing in the world. One thing that is very key is that everything we do is designed for the UK market. A lot of the people in the touring and the river cruise market are global brands based in the States or based in Europe as well. They're trying to get everybody on board. But everything we do as far as putting the itineraries together has always been designed for our domestic market. We do sell in America, we do sell in Australia and New Zealand, but you'll find the majority of people on our ships and on our tours will be fellow Brits as well. With that in mind, we now send more Brits on overseas escorted tours than any other operator. And we also send more Brits on overseas river cruises as well. So like I said, we're a big operator. As you can see, we're which recommended. We do three main products. So we have our touring program. We've actually now got an additional fourth brochure as well. So because of the growing products, we've actually got European and UK, and then we've also got a worldwide touring brochure. We've got our cruise collection, which is going to be the main focus of the talk today. And then we also do a dedicated program for solo travelers as well. And again, I'll mention that a little bit later on in the presentation. But I'm going to start off what we're most well known for is our river cruising. So what's included? I'm sure you're probably aware there's so many river cruise companies, but like I said, we like to think we've hit the winning formula. So obviously you've got your accommodation, beautifully appointed cabins and suites. You've got all your meals included. So that's breakfast, lunch and evening meal. We also do afternoon tea every day on board. One thing that is crucial is that all excursions are included with Riviera. So everywhere where the ship stops, there'll be an excursion available free of charge for you to take. We've got complimentary tea and coffee in your cabin. We still believe we are the only river cruise company that got tea and coffee in every cabin on every ship. Not as Brits are like, we can't function until we have that brew first thing in the morning. And I know I joke about it a little bit, but I had a client once I did an event, and he told me about he went to a 5-star hotel in the UK. And do you know what it's like at any hotel when you're trying to find the tea and coffee, the kettle, and you open every drawer, every cupboard? He gave up, he couldn't find it, phoned reception, and so said, I can't find the kettle, I want to make a cup of tea. And they said, we don't do tea and coffee in your room, but you can order it 24 hours a day. We've got 15 different flavors of tea bags. And he said, that's all very nice. He said, but if I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I want to make myself a cup of tea, I want to make, I don't want to have to brush my hair, and in his words, even put some clothes on to actually have to answer to the door to let someone come in with a tray to bring a tea coffee. He said, I want to be able to put that kettle on. So on our ships, we've actually got the Nespresso machines and a kettle as well. So you've got tea and coffee in the cabins. You've got Wi-Fi throughout. You've got 2 Riviera staff on board as well as the crew as well. And everything, English is the only language spoken on board. You have some river cruise companies that, especially ones that are owned by the French or some of the other European countries, that they actually do their announcements in about 4 or 5 different languages. And nearly always English is last. So by the time they actually start telling you that dinner's ready, by the time you get around, all the decent tables have gone as well. So like I said, everything is designed for our domestic market. We do everywhere that you would expect us to travel to. So throughout Europe, obviously, you've got the big two rivers that the majority of people go on, which is going to be the Rhine, going through Holland and Germany. And then we've also got the Danube going all the way through to the Black Sea. You've got little subsidiaries such as the Moselle. We've got a lovely program in France. So that in northern France, we've got the Seine going from Paris, going up to Normandy. And then we've got the Somme and the Rhone going down to the Mediterranean. And one cruise that has been proved very popular over the last few years is the Douro in Portugal. We were hoping to start cruising the Douro at the end of this month, but obviously, sadly, that's been put on the back burner yet again as well. But like I said, we've got everything that you expect. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the key itineraries. I'm not going to do every itinerary because we'll probably still be here on Monday as well, but I'll show you some of the selections that we do. So if you've never river cruised before and you just want to do almost like a taster one, or have a lovely spring break, we've got Amsterdam, Kinderlijk and the Dutch Bulkfields. So these are shorter durations, sort of 4 days itineraries, obviously only available during the spring, flying in and out of Amsterdam. We also have some shorter durations at the other end of the year, and we have our Christmas market cruises. So we do Yuletide market cruises on both the Rhine and the Danube, and then we also have festive cruises over the Christmas period and the New Year period, once again on both cruises. And one thing that's always key with river cruising is the fact that you stop right in the heart of where you want to be. It's not like an ocean ship where sometimes it's too big, it's moored out in the sea and we use tenders. You're stopping right in the heart of where you are, and it's almost like an escorted tour but on water. The difference is you're taking your 5-star hotel with you. So you think going to all these Christmas markets, going to places like Cologne and Koblenz as well, and stopping right in the heart, you've got your accommodation and you walk and explore the towns and the Christmas market as well. So we've got these shorter durations at both ends of the year. Our top selling river cruise, and once again, if you've never river cruised before, so many people do the Blue Danube as their first trip away. I love this. I've actually done it twice myself, in and out of Budapest. Lots of highlights amongst things. We go down to Salzburg, so where Sound of Music was all filmed. The big thing I think though for this cruise is that you're doing 3 different countries and 3 different capital cities. So you're going through Hungary, Slovakia and Austria, which means you're visiting Budapest, Bratislava and Vienna as well. So even as a extended city break, it's a really good cruise as well. And a lot of people do this because, like I said, 3 capital cities, 3 countries on an iconic river such as the Danube as well. You'll see with some of our river cruises such as the Blue Danube, we also have the option of extending as well, so you can actually do a Budapest extension at the end of the river cruise, but this has always been our top selling river cruise. Something a bit more scenic, we do a Rhine cruise to Switzerland. We actually do this in both directions, so you can actually start in Switzerland and cruise back to Cologne, or go from Cologne and cruise south into Switzerland. Personally, I would probably do it north to south. I think it just gets slightly prettier as you come through Germany heading towards Switzerland. And another one where we've got an option of extension, we can actually do the Glacier Express extension at the end of this cruise as well. But like I said, this is a really beautiful, pretty river cruise that we do. I mentioned the Douro, like I said, really popular. A lot of people like it for the fact that it's a better guarantee of nice weather. It's a little bit unique with European river cruising is that you only sail during the day. No river cruise on the Douro sails at night. On our other rivers, we do sail at night, and some people go, well, why do you do that? Well, basically, it's just to cover the distances as well. And what we try and do with itinerary is what we'll do at night, especially if it's a round trip on the way up, we'll be doing daytime on the way back, so hopefully you won't miss too much out. We are prepared for any eventuality as far as COVID restrictions. So as I said, we were due to start commencing our Portugal cruises this month. As you can see from the map, we do a trip out to Salamanca, which is always one of the highlights of this cruise. All we were doing in the short term was going down to Braga and do an alternative as well, because at the time Portugal was green, Spain was amber as well. But like I said, it's a lovely cruise along the Douro. We have two 15-day river cruises as well. So we've got Cruise the Heart of Europe, which goes from Amsterdam through to Budapest. And this cruise, which sells really well, is going from Budapest through to the Black Sea. It's a beautiful 2-week cruise. A lot of customers love this for the fact that you go to a lot of places that you probably wouldn't really do an ordinary holiday, if we're honest. So the fact that we go to Romania, Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia. We're one of the few river cruises that also go actually into the Danube Delta as well. So we cruise all the way through to the end. So like I said, if you're looking at something a little bit different, a couple of cities that you might not have visited before, such as Bucharest or to Belgrade as well, we've got this 15-day river cruise. And then finally, we've actually got a new river cruise for this year. So Amsterdam, Cologne, and the best of Holland and Flanders. The reason we did this is we always listen to what our customers say to us. So with this cruise, we had a lot of people saying, we love Amsterdam, we love all around Belgium as well. We don't necessarily, though, only want to go during the springtime as well. So this was introduced to cruise throughout the season. And just to bear in mind with river cruising, with the exception of the festive market ones, the river cruise market is really April through to October. So this one you can go in or out of Amsterdam or Cologne. And what we're doing also for 2022 is in Amsterdam, it's the Floriade Expo, and we'll include tickets for this on this cruise if you book for 2022. So when you're in Amsterdam, you can either do a canal cruise or go over to the Floriade Expo as well. So like I said, a brand new cruise for us for this year. We've got beautifully appointed ships, so they're all named after poets and authors, British ones. So we've got Robert Burns, we've got Emily Bronte, we've got Charles Dickens, we've got William Shakespeare as well, all designed for our home market. So we're not the biggest river cruise company in the world, but we've got the newest fleet, and like I said, it's everything that's being designed for the UK market. So I'll go through a few things, what our ship's like. But just to start off, I'll just do a quick video of the Thomas Hardy, which hopefully will give you an idea of what the ship's like. Sorry about that. So that gives you an idea of what our ship's like. So that was Thomas Hardy. So she was built just 4 years ago. I must admit, seeing images of that, really missing getting on our ships. We actually haven't been on our own ships since December 19 as well. So we're itching to get back. Just a couple of little things from the video. Like I said, we are 5-star products, but we're not overly sort of formal on board as well. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. I know you probably saw a few gentlemen on the dining that had jackets and ties on, and there's no requirement as far as have to have a collar and tie. It's more just a minimum requirement. We just don't want people come down in like vest tops and shorts for evening meal. I think those gentlemen that were looking very smart at dinner were probably there because their other halves were saying, we're going to be filmed tonight. I want you looking your best on our trip as well. So like I said, it's very informal, but like I said, beautifully appointed. And that's one thing I think why Riviera do so well is we have probably the best quality to price ratio in the market. They're 5-star ships, but we don't charge 5-star prices. It's more sort of 4-star superior price as well. A lot of customers, they look at our pricing, oh, that's a good price for the river cruise. And when they get on board, there's a real wow factor of how lovely the ships are as well. So hopefully, like I said, that's giving you an indication. So this is an image of Oscar Wilde pointing out a few things. So a lot of people say, oh, don't river cruise ships all look alike? Well, they are of a sort of basic design. So obviously we can't build too wide because we have locks to go through. And we quite often dock alongside other ships as well. So like I said, we can't build too wide. And obviously we can't build too high because we've got bridges to get under as well. So like I said, the elongated design. Big advantage, I think, with river cruise compared to ocean is the fact that there's no inside cabins either. So you've got outside cabins on all ships as well. Really easy to get around. So I'm going to show you a few images of the ships in detail. So obviously the main feature or focus is your cabins itself. So leading category is always the lower decks. As you say, you still get a window, but you don't get a full height window. So this is on like the waterline, still very spacious, 16 square meters, all the facilities that you would have for the cabins above as well. It's just on the lower deck. I will mention a bit later, but while I've got this screen on as well, if we have any solo travelers, we always have up to 6 cabins on every ship on every departure where there's no single supplements. So those ones are actually these cabins on the lower deck. And then sometimes we have some other cabins that are available with no supplements further throughout the ship as well, but there's always a minimum of 6 on every departure. So let's say this is the lower deck cabin. If you've never river cruised before, I'd probably recommend just to go either middle or upper deck, French balcony leading category. As you can see, full height windows. The windows slide open to let the fresh air in. You've got a couple of chairs in the cabin and you can watch the world go by. You don't spend a huge amount of time in your cabins compared to ocean. Obviously, we've got no days at sea. A lot of people either go into the lounge or go up onto the sun deck as well. But of course, you can sit there and watch live from the comfort of your own cabin. We have a few superior suites on board. So these are slightly larger cabins. And as you can see, the beds are actually angled because of where they're located on the ship, slightly more towards the window. And then we also have our balcony suite. So these are our top category available. We've only got a maximum of 4 on any one ship. So these do get booked up very quickly. Obviously, we can't build the balcony onto the side of the ship because we'd lose it every time we go through a lock. So we have what's known as an inside balcony. As you can see, you slide the doors open and sit there with a drink and, like I said, beautiful little oasis as you cruise along. So they're the main categories of our cabins. We have spacious bathrooms. Now, people laugh when I get quite excited about the bathroom, but I think it's quite important to have space wherever you are on the board ships. We have a lot of cruise companies that say they have very spacious cabins, which they do. But what they do is they actually take the space out of the bathroom. So as you can see, we've got a full width shower, really lovely appointed, lovely toiletries on board as well, and just make sure that the whole ambiance of your cabin and your suites are of space and relaxation. This is the panoramic lounge, sort of says what it says on the tin. So during the day, it is the main panoramic lounge. It's also where the bar is located. And in the evenings, it becomes the main sort of focus of entertainment. So very different if you've been on an ocean ship where sometimes you get the latest West End shows. We always have a pianist on board. And what we do is we bring entertainment on board our ships. So we've got no days at sea. We're only ever a couple of 100 yards from the shoreline as well. So, for example, the Blue Danube that I mentioned earlier on, in Vienna, we'd have a string quartet come on board. In Budapest, we have a Hungarian folk team as well. So depending where you are around Europe, we bring the entertainment to you rather than just having one set entertainment as well. The panoramic lounge is also where we serve afternoon tea every day. We have some facilities on board that are just at small supplements. So we've got a spa, and then we've also got a hair salon on board. I've put this image on for two reasons. Firstly, to show how easy it is to get around the ship. We've only got 3 corridors. You can't really get lost on the Riviera river cruise ship. The other thing I just want to mention with this image, though, is just on the left, as you can see, we've got the lift. And it's just, we get a lot of people asking about mobility around river cruising. The lift will actually link the 3 accommodation decks. What it doesn't go though is up to the sun deck itself. And with river cruise ships, like I said, sometimes you do dock alongside another ship. So to get off that ship, if it's the same height, you just walk through the reception, which is where this photographer is stood at the moment. But sometimes you actually have to go over the neighboring ship. So all you do, you go up to the sun deck of your ship, over the sun deck of the neighbours' ships, and down their stairs. So just from a mobility point of view, as long as you can get up about 12 steps unaided, obviously with a handrail, but unaided, you should be fine to actually get around river cruise as well. But sometimes if it's like low water at the end of the season, or even high water at the beginning of the season, sometimes it can be a little bit steeper to get on and off of the ship as well. So that's it. If you're worried, speak to Moira. She can speak to our staff as well. We'll make sure that it's compatible for yourself to travel. You saw from the restaurant for the video, sorry, the restaurants as well. So beautifully appointed restaurants. So this is the main restaurant on board our ship. So this was the Robert Burns that I was on a few years ago, and we christened her in 2018. So we've got tables from 2 up to 8. There's no set dining on river cruising, as long as you're hungry and you can come down and eat through the dining tables. It's not as if you're going to be on the same table every day and every sitting with the same people as well. And I said, you've got that flexibility if you're dining. On board a lot of our ships, we also have a second dining option. So as you can see here on the George Eliot, we've got the bistro, which is located at the rear of the ship. It's only 26 covers, I think, in total. Only tables are 2 and 4. Beautiful menu. It's all including your price. The only thing we ask is you just make a reservation. So as if you're there for an anniversary or a birthday as well, I'd recommend when you go on board, book at least one night in the bistro. You can also go down for lunch as well, and lunch is just served as a first come first serve. Generally speaking, normally we would have buffet for breakfast and lunch. Obviously, with the current COVID restrictions, when we start cruising again, everything's going to be at table service, including the bar as well. So we're going to be getting rid of the bar stools for the short term until things hopefully get back to normal. You can have breakfast delivered to your cabin. So it's a bit like a hotel where you put the menu on the door handle the night before. This gives you an idea of the menus on board our ship as well. So it's a beautifully appointed ships, but also fine dining as well. I said it's a real wow factor on board our ships. There's normally a captain's dinner every cruise as well that you can join as well. But I just want to put this on just to show you some of the food that we serve on board our ships. The only thing we don't include is alcoholic drinks. I know some people do all-inclusive on their ships as well, but once again, speaking to our customers over the years, we found that not everybody drinks, and they feel that they shouldn't really be paying for something that they're not going to use as well. So we want to give you the option. So we do these drinks packages. So these will give you unlimited beers, wines, soft drinks, for both lunch and dinner. So on a regular week's river cruise, it's just £109 per person as well. If you're thinking, oh yeah, if we don't take that, I bet we're going to get ripped off on board. To give you an idea, just a small beer or glass of wine can start from as little as €2.50 on board as well. So we're not expensive one on board. So if you just have the odd glass of wine with your meal, or possibly a beer at lunchtime, and that's it. If I'm honest, I wouldn't even worry about doing the drinks package as well. But if you like a couple of glasses for lunch and evening meal, I'd probably recommend that you add this onto your cruise. If you're feeling guilty of all this fine dining, we do have the fitness rooms. If I'm really honest, I very rarely see people in here. I think they just pop in just to show willing as well. We also have bikes on board that you can use. These are free. So if there's a town we've actually been to before and you want to go out and explore, you can speak to our staff and speak to the ship's crew, and they'll give you some recommendations. All I'd ask is that you make sure you know what time the ship's departing, because if not, it's going to be a bit of a cycle along the towpath to try and catch up with us. But no, honestly, we will wait for you as well. But as we've got bikes available. We also have the sun deck. So there's a small putting green and plunge pool on our ships. And then there's plenty of seating on board on the sun deck with both chairs and sun loungers. And as you can see from this image, there's also plenty of shelter as well. So if you want to sit and watch the world go by, but don't want to sit out in the sun itself, like I said, there is plenty of shelter on board our ships. As I mentioned, all excursion included. So you're given these handsets that will plug in and you can hear what your tour guide's going. These work really well for two things. Firstly is the fact that you never miss out on what your tour guide's saying. They walk at a steady pace, you know, they have their little flag or their board to show you where you are, explain everything about the place you're visiting, and then let everybody catch up as well, rather than the old days when you're all gathered around one tour guide trying to hear what they're saying as well. The other thing that's really helping as well, also moving into the new world, if I can put it that way, with COVID restrictions, is this naturally helps with social distancing as well. You know, like I said, you're not all gathered around the one person as you go around, and the fact that people like me who are always that awkward one who wants to take that perfect photo and waits till everybody moves out of the way, I can do that without missing out on what the tour guide's doing. So like I said, all excursion are included. And as mentioned, you know, we've got the we cater for solo travelers. So like I said, we have up to 6 cabins on every ship on every departure with no single supplements. One thing we also do that not many other operators do is we actually have dedicated solo cruises as well, where the whole ship is just for solo travelers as well. So you can either go on a regular cruise, or let's say if you want to go with other like-minded solo travelers as well, we do have set departures that you can go for solo travelers. One thing that's new for this year and moving on to 2022 is Riviera Plus. So this is for any customer that's staying in either any of our suites or deluxe or superior suites, or any top deck cabin. This is including the price. So with Riviera Plus, you'll get like a bottle of Prosecco on arrival. There'll be a fresh fruit platter during the cruise, slightly different toiletries. There's an aperitif each evening. And one thing I like is the new smart handsets. So these are an upgrade of the regular handsets and come built in with maps, translator, currency converters, and it actually gives you unlimited calls, text messages, and internet usage, not only while you're on board our ships, but also while you're ashore as well. So obviously with roaming charges changing, and various countries, we may not be sure if you need to phone home, if you need to check how the cat's doing or how the family is going as well. Like I said, you can use these smart handsets, and like I said, it's everybody in either deluxe or superior suites or any upper deck cabin, and that's including the price. So that's river cruising covered. So I'm just going to cover a few of the other water products, should I say, as well. So first thing I want to show is our Adriatic yacht cruises. So these yachts are off the Croatian coast, only a maximum of 40 customers, and very similar to river cruising. They're small enough that it can dock everywhere. You know, we don't have to just use the main ports. You can use smaller like fishing villages and places like that. We've got things, for example, like every day we do a swim stop. So we'll find a secluded bay, drop anchor, and customers are free to have a swim if they want as well. So I'll show you a short video on this just to give you an idea of what our yachts are like. I must admit that video always does really well when I'm doing presentations on a cold, wet February night as well, and people just see the sunlight. But like I said, beautiful yachts as well. And we also have a little bit of ocean as well. So next year we're using a cruise ship called World Voyager on 3 itineraries. She's a beautiful brand new small ship. She's actually built in 2020. So of course, with lack of holidays, she is virtually a brand new ship. And the reason we're using this ship is the fact that it's very similar to a river cruise, maximum of 200 passengers, no inside cabins as well. And with the itineraries that we're doing, the ship is small enough to actually dock everywhere where we go to. So there's no need for tenders as well. So we've got 3 itineraries that we're doing next year. First one is sailing in and out of Portsmouth. Now I know this goes up and up to everybody's neck of the woods up in Scotland, and on the way back down visits Belfast, Dublin, and the Isles of Scilly. A cruise that is proving popular, an itinerary, is this cruise that's going from Portsmouth to Lisbon. And as I mentioned, because of the size of the ship, the fact that whether it's in France, whether it's in Guernsey, whether it's in Spain, or whether it's Portugal, we dock everywhere where we actually stop as well. So it's really accessible for everybody to get out and about. And then obviously we're flying back from Lisbon. And then the third itineraries, we've got a couple of departures going around from the Canary Islands, going over to Morocco and to Madeira as well. So these will be fly cruise as well. But once again, a lot of our Riviera customers have said, do we do ocean, but they don't want the big 5,000, 6,000 passenger ships. They want the best of both worlds. A little bit of the Riviera way of, like I said, small ship cruising as well. So these are now on sale for 2022. So that's all the water-based part of our business. The rest of the itinerary I want to do about the escorted touring market. So like I said, it's a huge part of Riviera's heritage and our business as well. And once again, hopefully we've got something for everybody. So with the tours, I'm going to start off with our city breaks. So we do a lot of these short duration tours. So places like Paris and Bruges, but places like Berlin, and we've got Rome. And these, as we just say, you can see on the screen, it's more than just a city break. Anyone can do just a flight and 2 nights accommodation as well. But these are like mini tours. So once again, fully escorted by a tour manager. We give you a little bit of flexibility, a bit of free time. And one thing, my very first trip with Riviera when I joined the company was to Paris. And I'd been to Paris before, but it was really interesting to listen to the tour manager, not only telling you about the history of the city, but the culture, what the people are like, tips for traveling around. Like I said, if you wanted to go to certain places, if you want to go to the Louvre or wanted to go to a museum, he'll tell you which days while we're there. Sometimes they close on Sundays or some close on Mondays. So it'd say you'd have to go tomorrow, or you could have to go on a couple of days as well. And like I said, really, so you can immerse yourself in these cities as well. So they're really good value for money. You can see starting from as little as £369 per person. But we've got a huge selection of European tours. We do 2 types of tours. So we do single and multi-centre. So a single tour, as it might suggest, is you're just in the one hotel for the week. So you just unpack that first time, and then we take you out on trips every day. Like I said, we always try and build in a little bit of free time. So we normally give you a free day, sometimes an extra half day here as well. So like I said, you can really explore at your own pace. Mainly 4 stars, some 3-star superior, mainly because of their location as well. And like I said, transfers and excursions are included. And you've got your tour manager to look after you. We cover all the major countries that you would expect us to do. So obviously Italy's our biggest program. We've got a lovely program around Spain as well, but we've also got a few places that people might not have thought about touring. So whether you're going like Finland, Latvia, Georgia, Northern Cyprus as well. And I want to show you a video of one of our tours, just to give you a feel again of how we tour. And this is Lake Como, San Moritz, and the Bernina Express. I'll tell you a bit later why I've chosen this video as well, but like I said, this will give you an idea of what one of the Riviera escorted tours are like. So the reason I put that tour on as well is last year Riviera, one of the few operators that actually started started doing our own tours as well. So we managed to get quite a few trips away to Italy. And what we do as a business is we never would send our customers on places that we haven't done ourselves. So we never contract anything third party. We go out and experience everything ourselves. So I was on a management trip that did the Lake Como tour. We had senior management, we had operations, we had health and safety to see how, this was August last year, to see how social distancing is, what's life on coaches in hotels, on the bars as well. And having that expertise and having that knowledge really proved well when we actually had our first customers travel on that tour. On that tour, you normally arrive on a Thursday, and then on the Saturday, you do the Bernina Express over Switzerland. They land on the Thursday. 2 hours later, Switzerland was added to the no-go list last year. So having that local knowledge meant we could make other alternatives for going on the Bernina Express, and we took people further down to on the lake. I think we charged the boat in the end to spend some more time as well. So like I said, everything you see and everything available for Riviera, we as staff have been there, seen it, checked out, everything's safe for our travelers. We do a lovely experience of worldwide itineraries as well. So as you can see from the screen there, we're leading operators for touring to places like South Africa, Vietnam and Cambodia. We do places in the Middle East. We've got a strong program for South America and Central America. Our Costa Rica tour sells really well. And we've got travel as far as New Zealand as well. So we've literally got everything from Paris to New Zealand for you to explore with Riviera Travel. Solos, similar to river cruising, we have a dedicated solo program that does city breaks, European and long haul tours. We always have like a welcome drink on the river on the cruise, and we also include lounge access as well. So when the group meets at the airport as well, from the very get-go, you can start meeting of fellow travelers as well. So like I said, a huge program for our solo program. And we now have UK. So this is brand new for this summer. We've been looking at doing UK tours for a number of years, and obviously with COVID, we've just brought that forward a little bit as well. So small groups, maximum 25. You make your own way to the start of the holidays to the hotel. It's a single centre hotel, and then once you're there, we then look after you as far as doing excursion and tours. We've got two types of tours. So we've got our standard tour, which is a very similar to thing of what we do in Europe and worldwide. So we'd go to like National Trust properties, there'd be scenic drives, cathedrals, food and drink experience as well. And with all our tours, lovely location hotels as well. So and if you're driving, we've also select hotels with free parking. We also do walk and discover tours. Now, don't worry, we're not going to be trekking across the Andes or doing huge hikes, but we just found some of our customers wanted to explore a bit of the destinations that they're traveling on foot. So you're going to see a lot more of the town or wherever we're actually visiting as well. And one thing you will find with our tours is once again good quality and good inclusions as well. So obviously there's excursions everywhere we go. And as an example, our Walk and Discover tour for Yorkshire, every operator is doing a tour of some sort of Yorkshire. Everybody will visit Harrogate, and everybody will mention Betty's Tea Rooms at Harrogate. We're a little bit different. We've actually got a private room at Betty, so that we'll actually have afternoon tea included. We've got entrance to National Trust properties as well. So like I said, we've hopefully thought of everything, and that's all included in the price. I said 4-star hotels, most offer free parking. I think there's one that we do that it doesn't have free parking, but it's because of its location, it's right by the central railway station as well. And they've all got restaurants and dining options. So it's all minimum bed and breakfast, and there's normally a selection of evening meals that are included, or dining packages that you can add on. To give you an idea, we've actually got 12 in total, but here's a few of the tours. So, we've got Cornwall, we've got Oxford, Blenheim and the Cotswold, Bath, Somerset and Glastonbury. As well as these tours, we've got places like Jersey, we've got a tour of Northern Ireland as well. So hopefully there's a little bit for everybody. these have sold incredibly well, as you would expect, with people desperate to go on holiday and being restricted where they can travel. Moira will have all the availability of what we've still got available for 2021 for this summer departure as well. But we've also put 2022 on sale already because of how popular these are proving. And then what we also do on 4 of the itineraries, sorry, we also have dedicated solo trips. So, I mentioned that with the river cruise that we've got solo departures. On the yachts, we have some dedicated solo departures, and the same with our UK, European and worldwide tours. We've got solo tours available. Going back a little bit long haul, we've also got private touring. So obviously we're most well known for river cruise and escorted touring. And sometime over the years with Riviera, when I speak to customers, when we're doing holiday shows or events in person, a lot of customers quite often look at our brochure, look at the itinerary, and they go, that's everywhere where we want to go, but they don't really want to go as a group. So what we've done, we've introduced private touring on a selection of destinations. They don't have the flexibility as you would if you were phoning Moira and say, I want 2 nights here, 3 nights here, a half day here. So they're a complete duplicate of our itineraries for the group tours, but it's just yourself or a couple, or even if it's just 2 couples going as well, and it's on set departure date. So though you don't have the flexibility to tailor make it, what will be different is if you go somewhere and let's say they take you to a cathedral, for example, and they say, right, we've got 4 hours here, and you go, actually, I think I'll probably be done in an hour. Once you've seen everything you want to, you can then move on to the next place. Or vice versa, if you get to a beautiful scenic area, and we've all been on trips in the past where the tour guide or the coach driver will say, right, we've got 20 minutes here, and you go, can we not spend an hour? And I really want to take in the view and the ambiance as well. Like I said, as long as we're not trying to get to either a flight or a rail journey as well, you've got that little bit of flexibility that you won't have on a group tour. So like I said, you've got your own car, English speaking driver, and depending where you're traveling, you'll either have a guide for the whole trip, or you'll pick up local guides as you go around. And as I said, they're long haul destinations as well. So like I said, some of our top selling group tours, such as Vietnam and Cambodia and Costa Rica as well, we're now also offering as private tours. And then finally, I just wanted to put this image on. This was one of our tours that we did last year in Italy. And for the coaches, so as you see, as we're all used to wearing our masks as well. And it's just to show how we are taking COVID seriously. As I mentioned, we go out to see everything that we go to. So the trip I did with to Lake Como last year, not only did we see all the hotels, and we saw the museums that we visit as well, we even went to the coach company that we use to see what they're doing for their customers. So in the short term for COVID, we're not going to be rotating the seating, so you'll have set seats on board the coach. All of our tours this year are operating on a maximum of 25. Next year, especially for Europe, we'd actually give the option of either a small group tour of 25 or a classic tour of a full-size coach. But the coach company showed that they've got extra hand sanitizer. They've got like a disinfectant that they put through the air conditioning system every night to cleanse the coach as well. We've got temperature guns as well, so as the driver in the mornings will just check as well. And booking with us, you've got that flexibility. We've got COVID insurance covered, and you can change for new bookings up to 45 days before travel. No questions asked. So if you're still not feeling safe about traveling as well, we will allow you to change. But I thought it was important that with all the restrictions that we're doing, that I want to sort of mention that we are looking at everything as far as a tour or a cruise concerned. So that's the main itinerary, the tour done as well. Thank you very much for your time. If I go back to the main screen, there we go. And if you've got any questions, fire away. Is that all right, Moira?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Paul, that was brilliant, actually, and really interested in your small yacht one and things as well, because, yeah, that looks a totally different experience. But, yeah, no, and the ships look lovely. I struggle to see Robert Burns. I don't know about all my fellow Scots, but it's the Rabbie Burns.
Yeah.
Whenever I've sold it and I've said it's the Robert Burns, it doesn't sound like if you're Scottish, it's Rabbie Burns to us. But maybe get you to rename it just for us. That was great. And the tours, all the places you go, it's and it just is lovely for this 45 minutes or whatever to an hour just to sort of see holidays again and remember what it was like in the good old days. I mean, I think I flew last Thursday, albeit it was up to Islay for the day in a little Scottish island, but we just been back at an airport and having my passport out, albeit that I wasn't going very far, was just a great feeling.
I think my passport's covered in dust at the moment. So.
Something you just take your stride and take for granted, you know. But it felt exciting anyway. I even made it in a mini break and I stayed at an airport hotel. So it felt like the good old days. But yeah, listen, does anybody have any questions? Just by the way, is anything you'd like to ask, Paul? Got anything that you're wondering about? Don't be shy. Oh.
Always looks like I've actually covered everything.
Something there.
Yeah, you just about covered everything as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, Paul, it was a really good presentation. It was, I think really it's reassuring to see your COVID measures. Obviously we've all mostly had our 2 vaccinations now and hopefully this will all be over soon, but it's good to see that you're limiting obviously the numbers on the coaches and things like that, you know. The UK ones look great as well. I mean, you've got some great sort of places in there, Bath and Somerset and all these really nice Yorkshire places that a lot of us have never been because we're so busy going abroad. We don't sort of see so much of our own country.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we actually introduced the UK, as well as like the COVID restrictions. But one thing Riviera are very good is we talk to the most important people who are yourselves, our customers, and say what they want. And it's amazing. And Moira, you'll probably know probably more than ever being in travel is we're very lucky, and we've had Riviera customers that have traveled to South America with us, South Africa, they've gone down to New Zealand, but they've never been to Northern Ireland or they've never been to Norfolk and Suffolk, and the amount of stuff that's on your doorstep. And with my job, I visit a lot of travel agents, so I've covered a lot of the country by road. I'm also a sad devotee to my football team as well. So once again, when we used to be able to go and see matches, I've been up and down motorways of the UK as well, and it's amazing sometimes. I've always tried to see what's famous. The first time I ever went to Northern Ireland and heading back towards Belfast, and suddenly saw the signs for the Giant's Causeway, and I'm driving along and I'm looking at my watch thinking, my boss will never know. Did a quick diversion, walked down to the steps, started raining as it always does in Northern Ireland, so then got the bus back to the top of the hill. But it's those things that are literally on the doorstep as well. And like I said, the fact that we've got beautiful hotels, the tour managers, and last week we actually had our first Riviera customers of the year traveling on our Buxton and Chatsworth tour as well. So it's lovely to see people and about. And I mentioned about the ships. Like I said, December 19 was the last time we were actually on our own ships as well, which is far too long as well. So we've cancelled pretty much up to the end of July at the moment. I'm sure you've probably asked Moira, and Moira's probably asked everybody as well, when can we travel again? If I knew that, I'd be a much richer man as well. But we are still hopeful of trying to get some stuff away in August, possibly September, October. But like I said, certainly we've got all of 2022 on sale. We've got those Christmas cruises. Hopefully by then we'll be able to get people away. But even if you want to book something for later on in the autumn, just to give you something to look forward to, you've got that flexibility, like, so you can change up to 45 days before, no questions asked, and we can move you then on to 2022. And we've had a lot of people who have just holding on to their money and thinking, oh, I'll just wait until nearer the time and then make a commitment, which is fine. We fully understand that. One thing you will find for next year, though, is availability is going to be an issue, some key points. And prices have gone up. As with everything in the world, nobody's been making money really for the last 18 months as well. So price increases from hotels, from airlines are pushing up as well. So I don't think you're going to get as many late deals, but customers who've, and thankfully for us, Riviera have a very loyal customer base. So an awful lot of people moved from 2020 to this year. Unfortunately, we're now also having to move people to 2022. And some have just said, oh, I'll just take the money and wait as well. But once again, booking through to next year, you've got the best price. And we're finding things like our springtime departures, like in sort of April and May, always a peak time for river cruising because people are trying to avoid the hot weather of July and August. Well, So spring sells really well. Likewise with autumn, those balcony suites that I showed you, those beautiful balcony suites, we've only got 4 per ship. They sell out very quick as well. So like I said, if you want something to look forward to and get the best price, I said I would start thinking now for holidays. And I said we've still got availability for UK, Europe, worldwide, solos, river cruising, yachts for the autumn. So hopefully we'll be able to get you away sooner rather than later.
I know, I think everybody's wanting their holidays. Paul, are you up to 2023 or anything?
Not at the moment. We are pushing the office to get that. It's I have to say Riviera are normally notoriously really late about getting our product on sale, and I think we scare people. I don't even know what I'm doing this weekend, let alone what we're booking for 2023 as well. But we're going to try and get 2023 on sale as soon as possible, even if it's 2 or 3 cruises like the Blue Danube, a couple of the big sellers as well, to get through. But I know this time last year we were probably thinking, oh yeah, by 2021 everything's going to be available and we're traveling, and it's so hard. I don't need to tell anybody on the presentation today about various stuff's coming in from whichever government you fall under. As you know, they probably moved the goalpost more than anything I've ever known in my life as far as traveling is concerned. But we were very close to getting people to Portugal, and I think now with the vaccination program coming in, as Moira said, most of our sort of customer demographic now have had both their jabs as well, and I think it's looking more likely that some countries will say, well, if you've had both vaccinations, it's going to be a lot easier to travel abroad. So, and my personal feeling as far as the river cruise are concerned, I think the ones that will probably operate first are the ones that are in the same country. So perhaps later on this year, like if you're going on the Rhone or the Douro, or just staying in Germany, if we're just using one country's restrictions, once we're given literally the green light to travel, they're going to be a lot easier to operate. As much as I love Budapest to the Black Sea, cruises like that might be a bit of a struggle, because we've got to make sure the Hungarians, the Croatians, the Serbians, the Bulgarians and the Romanians are all on the green list and all able to travel as well. So like I said, things like I said, cruising down the south of France on the road or going to the Douro as well, they're probably going to be the easiest and the first ones to actually operate. That's my gut feeling as well. But Moira and we update all our trade partners with all the latest news, whether it's sad news that if we're postponing stuff or if we know we're traveling. And also what we're doing at the moment is we're not doing the usual balance dates for payment. A lot of people have either got holidays booked or want to book for September, October. They're going, well, I don't want to pay them a full amount of a holiday if it's going to be cancelled in 6 weeks' time as well. So we will only ask for balances paid of holidays when we know the tours are going to operate as well. So you can just pay with your deposit rather than pay everything up front as well. And if we know the tour's operating, we'll contact Moira. She can then collect the balance as well. So don't think you've got to spend thousands of pounds now for a holiday in October that's going to be possibly cancelled next week as well. It'll still just be the deposit. And like I said, we've built in this flexibility for you to travel.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, you've been really fair for the clients that I have had. Paul, as a company, you've been really good, which is great, because like none of us thought this time last year. I mean, some people are moving for the second and third time, and yeah, it's been a challenge for us all, but we'll get through it. We'll be travelling again soon, hopefully.
Well, I was the same with everybody else. I had a holiday booked for New York just the week before the first lockdown. I rebooked it for May, thinking it'll all be over by May. Moved from May to October. I then moved it to Christmas. I then moved it to March this year, which was going to be the original date 12 months later. And I've now got a refund credit note with the airline and waiting for a refund. So we're all literally in the same boat as well. But it's amazing of those who've still got holidays booked in, especially like September and October as well. Once the sort of schools have gone back, and just to have that in my diary, like it was really lovely when I got the email from Moira and the team just to remind me about today, because I've hardly had anything in my diary for about 12 months. It's like, yeah, I've actually got an event with, and I can actually see our customers as well. So it's the little things that in life that are pleasing as well. So yeah, like I said, as soon as we can get people on our trips, obviously we've got the UK departures, they're all going to be operating this summer as well. But yeah, as soon as we can get people, as Moira, get that experience of being back at the airport, and you know.
Oh, it's just a fantastic feeling. And even just, I mean, there was taxi drivers all sitting outside the airport, and you just feel for everybody. I mean, they're walking through the duty free. There was some girls in the duty free working, and it was like there was nobody really much there. It's just, you know, we just need to safely, obviously, but we just need to get back to our old lives as safely and as soon as we can, really. And that involves travelling. But it felt good to be in a plane, albeit that it was a tiny one. But yeah, it was good. But oh, listen, if anybody's no questions, we could you know, we could wrap up. And you know, sort of what I'll do is I'll check some of these staycation ones. I could do with going on a few myself. Because a confession, I've never been to Isle of Skye, which is absolutely shocking to admit being Scottish. But you know, I'll have a wee look, because I know we've got the availability on the staycations. Because, you know, again, these tours look great value, because I know that I've looked at lodges and cottages, and oh my goodness, the price of them shot up, you know, in the summer. So, you know,
Well,
those little tours and what's included, they look really good value.
I was in an agent last week who booked a single gentleman on one of our tours to Devon, and he originally came in looking at just a hotel, and by the time they finished, they worked out that our tour was cheaper than just the 4-night hotel stay in Devon. And he said it's a complete no-brainer. Not only am I getting a hotel, but I'm getting all these excursions. I'm looked after by a tour manager as well, and as I said, mentioned with a lot of our single centre touring, when you're just in the one hotel, and I did this in Paris, and I've done this in Italy as well. If we're going to, I don't know, some gardens for the morning and thinking it's not really my cup of tea, you don't have to go. You know, we're not going to force you, drag you onto the bus, kicking and screaming as well. You know, if you want to either have a line, or, you know, so you just want to explore the little local area as well, that's the big advantage of these tours as well. You know, it's your holiday, it's your money that you're spending as well. So if it's not really something you want to do, yeah, and we're just staying at the one hotel, it's perfect. So yeah, it's when you look at the value, you know, the breakfast included, the quality of accommodation, and some of the places that we're going through, like I said, Betty's Tea Rooms in Harrogate, everybody goes to Betty's Tea Room.
Yes, I've even been there.
But the fact that we actually include afternoon tea in our tour has already proved a big plus point for people booking on that tour.
Amazing, eh? Yeah, no, that's great. Oh, listen, Paul, thank you so much. And of course, all the exotic places, I believe South Africa's selling well, which is great to hear, because it is a beautiful country. And Costa Rica, and, you know, Vietnam, Cambodia, so many other places that you do as well. But well, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you to all my lovely clients for taking time out to come and watch the presentation today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks very much, Paul. Thoroughly informative.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Stay safe, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.